the passive voice. We use the passive voice when we don't know the subject, okay? For example, I can say a company was created. Let me give another example. It can be, it was known that the company was built in this year, okay? We're gonna see some examples in the next slide to explain this in more like detail, okay? Or for example, when we say the books were invented, okay? Sometimes it's not necessary to mention who made the books. Well, in this example, okay? It is not necessary to say that, but you know that they were made, okay? They were created by someone, okay? That's obvious. Well, we also use a passive voice when the subject is not important or when we don't want to mention it, okay? And we also use the passive voice when we want to talk about the object and not the doer or the subject, okay? The person who does the action. Okay, we're gonna see the passive voice in the past simple, okay? We're gonna start with this. In the active voice or in the regular sentences, we start with a subject, okay? You know the subject is the person doing the action in the sentence. The second word must be a verb, okay? The action made. And the object can be what receives the action, okay? What receives the action. We're gonna see this later with examples, okay? Because you will understand it better by looking at examples. And then we have the complement. The complement is the rest of the sentence, okay? What you want to add to your sentences, right? I want you to look at these examples, okay? This is the active voice, okay? We're gonna explain first the active voice to compare the two, the passive voice and the active voice. In the first sentence, we have, John washed the dishes yesterday. This is a sentence in active voice, okay? We have the subject at the beginning. The second word is the verb, okay? The third word or words is the object, okay? And the rest of the sentence is the complement, okay? This is subject. Look at this formula. John washed the dishes yesterday. John is a subject. Washed is a verb in past, okay? The dishes is the object. And yesterday, the complement, okay? What is receiving the action? What is receiving the action in this sentence? It says, John washed the dishes yesterday. What is being washed? The dishes, okay? So we can say that the dishes is a part of the sentence that receives the action, okay? So in the passive voice, we have to put the object in a different place, okay? Not in the third place, like in the first sentence, okay? So this is active voice. Now look at this. The dishes were washed by John yesterday. This is an example of passive voice. But what is the order of the words for this grammar structure? Well, we have to start with the object. Okay, we have to write what receives the action first. Okay, then we have to write was or were. Okay, when do we use was? The verb to be was. Imagine that you have the word the car. Instead of the dishes, you have the word the car. The car washed by John yesterday. What word would I have to put? Was or were? The car was washed by John yesterday. Okay. Was is for singular and where is for plural. Okay. Well, we have other examples here. In the passive voice, we put the object first. For example, the dishes. The verb to be was or were. Okay, in this case, we have the word were in the sentence. Then the next word should be the verb in past participle, okay? Washed is a verb in past participle, okay? The past participle is different from the past tense, okay? So if you don't know the verbs in past participle very well, you will have to practice them, yes? Because we're gonna use a lot of them in this lesson. Then the next word should be by, okay? And the subject. In this case, the subject is John, okay? The subject is the person who does the action, remember that. And then we have the complement. We can complement the sentence with more words, okay? We can add extra words to give a more specific meaning to the sentences. Here we have another example. It says, the professor taught the students last semester. Okay, this is active voice. Can you see? The professor is the subject, taught is a verb, the students are the object, and the complement is last semester, okay? And this is passive voice. The students were taught, this is the past participle of the verb teach. The students were taught by the professor last semester, okay? So sometimes, or most of the times in the passive voice, we will use the verb by, the word, sorry, by, okay, to say who did the action. How am I going to learn to identify the object? It's easy. I can ask the question, what? What did I make? A cake. What did Betty wash? No, or what did Betty do? The dishes. Okay, so that's how I'm going to learn to identify the object, okay? Then we have the passive voice. In the passive voice, we have to write the verb to be in past, okay? Was or were. For example, it says, a cake was made by me. A cake was made by me. I have to say this, the object, okay? Remember that in the passive voice, we say the object first, and then we have to write was or were, okay? And then we write the verb in past participle, which is made in this case. And at the end, we add the subject, okay? With the word by. By me, by his mom, by the teacher, by her father, okay? It says Betty did the dishes. The dishes were done by Betty, okay? So you have to be very attentive to the order of the words, yeah?